A spring staple in the region is making a return in a virtual format. Joining me now is Lisa to talk about the virtual Raisin River Canoe Race. Welcome to the show, Lisa.
Thank you.
All right, so first of all, I assume most of our viewers are aware of the canoe race, but for those that maybe never heard of it before, can you give us a brief history and background of the event?
Well, this is a race that's been going on for 48 years. It started in 1973. It's roughly a 30-kilometer canoe race. I say canoe race, but we also have lots of kayaks that join in on the race every year. It starts in St. Andrews West and it finishes in Williamstown, and it goes through historical Martintown, where participants sometimes get the option to shoot the dam, or they can portage it through the streets of Martintown. It definitely is a tradition in this area. It's definitely a sign of spring when we host this event, and we get roughly between 300 and 350 participants every year. And if you're not in the race, then you're definitely usually watching the race. So we get lots of spectators along the course as well.
Absolutely, and that segues into my next question. It's a real community event, whether in St. Andrews or in Martintown or along the way. Just talk to me about that community support that you get with the spectators. It's impressive.
It's just so fun. Lots of people, I understand, have parties when it's the canoe race Sunday. It's just such a community event in respect to all the people that are involved with it too. We have, and the race wouldn't be possible without the volunteers from our local fire departments, South Glengarry Fire Department, South Stormont Fire Department. So we have St. John Ambulance volunteering along the course. We have the Knights of Columbus that host a breakfast in St. Andrews, and we have St. Mary's Community Center in Williamstown that hosts a spaghetti dinner after the race. So there's lots of different community groups that help us with this race as well. So I think community is a good word for this race for sure.
Absolutely. So let's talk about this year's race, and first how the virtual idea came about and how the planning went.
Well, this race takes a lot of planning. So it's March, when everything was closing down, it was obvious to us that we had no choice but to cancel this year's race. And as the summer progressed, we were like, we've got to do something. We can't just keep it as canceled. We've got to step up and find a fun way to use up these medals, because these medals were purchased long before we canceled this race due to COVID-19 this year, and they have 2020 on them. And we thought, let's do something fun so the community can get involved and get creative. They just need to send us a photo or use the hashtag #RRCanoeRace 2020 on social media, Facebook or Instagram, and they can take a photo of themselves in a canoe or a kayak. It doesn't even have to be in the water. It could be in their backyard pool. It could be on the grass. Somewhere within our watershed, we'd like to see some fun photos using this hashtag, and then members can head to our Grace Creek Marina, located at the end of Boundary Road at Grace Creek Conservation Area, between 7:30 in the morning and 6:30 p.m., and they can pick up their medals.
Excellent. So you mentioned, of course, obviously having the medals on hand was one reason, but why is it so important to keep up this going in some capacity?
I think I don't know, if people look at the news right now, there tends to not be that many good news lately. It's COVID-19 is definitely the headlines right now, and so it was fun to kind of take a negative and make a positive out of it. We've got 300 medals that we need to find good homes for, and it all gives the option to people to participate in the race that don't typically participate in the race. So people that have used to do the race, or that just don't get a chance, or there's also people who feel it's too cold in April. So this allows them to get out in the kayak. I've already actually received some photos, and seen some people using the hashtag. So I think after this week, we're going to start getting a lot more in.
And we can probably expect to see some pretty creative, as you mentioned,
Yes,
the way it opens
we're
up.
hoping creative. So we're going to probably share some of the best photos on our social media avenues, and we're looking forward to seeing some creative shots for sure.
Excellent. So just a reminder of viewers how they can participate and how they can find out more information.
Yep. So they can. All the details are on our website at www.rrca.on.ca. They just need to use the hashtag RR Canoe Race 2020. They could use that on Facebook or social media. And if social media is not your thing, then you can still email your photo, and you can email it to canoerace@rrca.on.ca. And if you want to look at our website, it's www.rrca.on.ca.
Excellent. Well, it's a very exciting news indeed that this canoe race, which has become such a valued tradition in our community, will live on in some capacity this year, in this unique year. On that note, Lisa, I'd like to thank you very much for joining me and for all your hard work to make sure that this virtual canoe race happens.
Oh, great. Well, thanks so much for contacting us, and we look forward to seeing the photos, and thanks for helping us get the message out.